Hi everyone, Gautam aka the Seeker of Wisdom. I'm a manifestation coach, and in this video, we're going to be talking about what to do during transition periods while manifesting an SP or any other desire for that matter. Now, before I do so, I'd like to remind you guys I am available for coaching. So I offer hourly, monthly, email, and DM coaching. The link will be in the description down below for an FAQ page where you guys will have all the answers you need. And thereafter, you guys can reach out to me via Instagram or email for pricing information and to figure out what plans may be suitable for you. I also have a Facebook group where I upload resources from time to time, as well as you guys can ask me questions anonymously if you wish to do so. Be sure to answer the 2 questions and agree to the group rules when you are entering the group. Otherwise, my moderators will reject you with feedback asking you to do the exact same thing. So save yourself some time there. I also have a mailing list where I post articles from time to time, as well as the latest offers for coaching. And I also have a Manifest Your SP course, which is designed for veterans and beginners alike, which brings you from right from the beginning, starting with acronyms, and it really goes into depth as to how to manifest your SP with ease. And we go in and make sure that you are grasping all the concepts. We have quizzes to ensure that, and also worksheets to aid you in your journey. So all the links will be in the description down below, guys. So without further ado, let's get to it. So what prompted this video was your feedbacks in the survey form that I have. So this was a suggestion. Number of you actually requested it. So it was phrased a little differently, of course, from response to response. But the gist of it was, how do you deal with the transition period, right? So I really wanted to address that because I thought that was a very good topic to address as well. So yeah, really, with regards to transition periods, right, the main thing there is to live in the end, right? It's to live in the end state of mind for as long as you can, to sustain that, right? And that is how you deal with transition periods, right? If you're noticing the middle, right, if you're noticing time, it means you're not living in the end state of mind, right? Which means your thoughts aren't in alignment to your desire, right? Part of you is asking, hey, where is it, is it here yet, that kind of a thing, right? So you want to shut that off as soon as you can and replace it with, it's already here. If I can see it in my mind, it's already coming to fruition, everything is all done. If I can see it in my mind, it is coming and it is done. The bridge of incidents is unfolding perfectly, right? That's the main thing. The bridge of incidents is unfolding perfectly. I'm just going to trust the process, it's already mine. And like I always give the Amazon analogy, right? The day when you click buy is not the day when you actually get it, right? And that doesn't mean your item is not yours yet. The item is yours and it's on its way and it's already yours still, right? That doesn't change the fact. And you just go by your day or two, and then before you know it, it's already at your doorstep. That's pretty much how manifesting works, right? So you don't have to be concerned about time, right? We always say the past, present, and the future all exist right now. It's all in the eternal present moment, basically, right? So really, you don't have to be concerned about the time, right? And as to how to deal with it, practically speaking, work on yourself, focus on yourself. Go about your day, make sure that you are maintaining a favorable mental diet with regards to your desire. If it's an SP, assume that your SP loves you, cares for you, and that they are always thinking about you, and that they are preparing, or that they are thinking about making it up to you, and so on and so forth, right? They are really like coming to meet you. And like if you're manifesting marriage, like you can think about like getting proposed and so on and so forth, right? So it's really like it varies from situation to situation, but the gist of it is, if you're manifesting an SP and if you're dealing with a transition time, assume that they are in love with you, and that the bridge of incidents is unfolding perfectly, right? So you never know how it may all pan out, so trust the process. Trust is the main thing, right? In the meantime, what I'll also ask you guys to do is to dwell in the end scene as much as you can. Dwell in the end scene as much as you can, because that is going to really help you guys to remind you, okay, where your end state of mind is. And it kind of keeps you in that end state of mind, because your dominant state of mind is what manifests, right? Like, and dominant state of mind is just a series of thoughts, essentially, right? So like dwell in the end as much as you can, like to make sure that you are thinking favorably, right? And also, like maintain a favorable mental diet. Assume that that your desire is already yours. And if it's SP, assume that they love you. Assume that they care for you. If it's an object or if it's a job position that you're aiming for, assume that that desire is already yours. And again, that the bridge of incidents is perfectly unfolding, right? And in the meantime, what you can also do is, work on yourself, right? Okay, if this is already mine, if my SP is already mine, for example, what can I do, in the meantime? Like, how can I, like, improve myself, right? What can I do, and it's not a prerequisite in any way to manifest your SP, and I really want to make that very clear. But, okay, knowing what you know, if your SP is already yours, you might as well work on things, right? You can work on your hobbies, you can work on your projects, you can, do things, right? So do that, invest in yourself, right? Having a partner doesn't mean that, you don't do any of those things, right? Your world doesn't revolve around your SP or whatsoever, right? At the end of the day, they're just another person in your life, right? They're there to enhance it, but at the end of the day, it's all about you. So make it all about you. Go and work on your projects, and, like, shift your focus elsewhere too, because that is going to help, right? Like, invest in yourself, work on yourself, improve yourself, not for the sake of SP, but for the sake of, your own, self improvement, and for your own standards, if you will, right? So, work on yourself that way. Even if it's like a job that you're preparing for example, like, knowing it's already yours, think about what can you do to be more prepared. Again, these aren't things to, these aren't a prerequisite per se, but in the process of, like, okay, if let's say you want to be an astronaut or a pilot, right? And and you applied for a job, maybe let's say you're a test pilot at, like, Lockheed Martin, for example, right? You may not have gotten the gig yet, but, maybe you can imagine, like, okay, what can I do, right? What is their procedure? And what it does is that it puts you in the state of mind of a Lockheed Martin employee. I'm not sure why I picked that company, like, it just came to my mind, but really, right? So, you can just, like, imagine yourself being there, right? Like, and, like, think about, okay, what does this company do, and, like, how can I, what can I do? And, like, essentially what you're doing is you're priming your mind to be in the state of a Lockheed Martin employee, essentially. So that's something that you can do. In the case of your SP, thinking about, okay, where will I bring them for dates, and, like, looking up restaurants and everything like that, and, like, just kind of mentally priming your mind essentially for the end state is what you're doing, right? So that's something that you can do. And also, in the meantime, what you can also do, in the transition period, is, repeat the new story to yourself over and over and over again, especially if it's your SP, if it's your ex, if you have revised a few things, repeat that new story to yourself over and over and over again, right? Think about how strong your love is. If it's a new person that you're manifesting, assume that, like, this love is really strong, and you guys have a strong relationship, and that you are the most likable person there that they have ever met before, and so on, right? Like, start preparing your mind, start priming your mind for that thing, basically. In The Secret, that they always say, right, like, if you're manifesting someone, you clear half your closet and everything. You don't have to do such things, honestly. It's more of a state of mind thing, right? So you can imagine, okay, if you are sharing a house with someone, for example, what does that look like? How is the dynamic different? Just thinking about all these things, right? And, like, start priming your mind for that. Just imagine it. You don't have to do anything in the physical reality per se, but what you can do is to basically say, okay, like, I can imagine this, right? Like, there's no cost involved or whatsoever, right? So that's the main thing. So these are things, practical ways you can prepare yourself for your desire, so to speak. Again, it is all done in the mind, but if it makes you feel better, or if it puts you in the end state of mind more often, then by all means you guys can follow these things. But really, it's all about dwelling in the end state of mind as much as you can, and believing that your desires have already been realized. That's the main thing that you have to ingrain in your mind in this period, basically. And and really, like, develop that sense of knowingness that, okay, this is done. And for that, just work on your trust and faith in the process, right? You can always, like, manifest quote unquote smaller things. I always say, like, like a specific colored car, a cup of coffee, or hearing a specific phrase from a person, to kind of remind you that manifesting does work, right? What I do sometimes is to listen to some of Neville's lectures. That kind of puts me, okay, I do trust this process, and, like, just kind of like a reminder for me from time to time, right? So that's something I do. Also, like, take some time off to meditate as well, because that's going to help you guys to really ease your mind and, like, calm your mind down as well. Because sometimes thinking about the end state of mind can really be or your desire can, or like, in the waiting period, can really kind of put you in that I don't want to say panic, but like, that there's a little bit of anxiety or worrying involved there, right? And we want to kind of avoid that. So meditating really helps there. So yeah, so I hope this video made sense, guys. If you guys have any questions, be sure to drop a comment down below. Be sure to like the video, turn on your bell notification so that you guys will know when I upload a new video every single week. Be sure to subscribe, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel. You guys are awesome that way. So yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy manifesting.